Morning, hunters. How's Virginia doing this morning? It's Friday, June something or other. July something or other. June. I'm a month behind schedule. Anyway, oh, great day. This one really is about militias and the Patriot movement that's out there. Kind of familiar with them. You know, a lot of good stuff, a lot of good people, a lot of good things happen within these movements, and a lot of, just be honest with you, BS too. You know, you got people running around with rifles that they're all kitted up and they can't run a mile. You know, or they're 75 years old. They can't carry a 30-pound pack. But they can go to a rally, get off a bus and stand there, or out of a truck and stand there, for the most part. Well, that's not going to do it. That's not going to work. And standing, I know, these Virginia roads, that's not going to work right now. Those days are over of the peaceful protesting, right? Because nobody's listening. So, if you have a militia group, remember I called them card players or dominoes players on the last one, but I'm just going to come out and say it. If you're part of a militia, a constitutional law-abiding militia, you got to freaking train. I mean, and you got to train hard, and you got to have somebody in your group that's tactically and technically proficient to be able to train to a standard. And those three things, you know, the standard is being able to move, shoot, and communicate. Let me throw some advice out there. Use the KISS principle. Keep it simple. Elaborate plans and elaborate tactics fall apart when the first round goes downrange. It's true. I gave you a perfect example. The Bin Laden raid. The Bin Laden raid, where you had highly trained, highly skilled Navy SEALs and intelligence officers cross a border into a sovereign country to detain, kill, or capture Osama bin Laden. And a helicopter crashed in the yard, hit the fence, or hit the wall. So that's what happens. But the reason they were able to recover and continue the mission, or Charlie Mike, the reason they were able to Charlie Mike is because they trained. Simple, 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 simple. They kept their plan simple. Because you can write an 80-page operations order. I've done it. And describe everything in minute, down to the minute detail, to include how much tape you have wrapped around your 1-quart canteen, how much 100-mile-an-hour tape. I mean, you can do that. But you're not going to remember that 80-page op order when you're out there, when you have boots on the ground. You're not going to remember that stuff. You're going to remember the routes. and the checkpoints, and you're going to have to look at your map for the checkpoints. So keep it simple. Hook up and train with other groups. You get better ideas, and you get a different perspective on how your group is by training with other folks. Look at their ideas, their weapons. I like looking at how people have their weapons set up. Another thing that I've seen in militias is not inconsistency in weapons. Some folks like the AK, some folks like the AR. Well, that's all well and good, but you either go with all AKs or all ARs in a group, one or the other. And if you don't, then you can't share magazines, right? If the AK guy runs out of ammo, you can't throw him a mag, or vice versa. The guy to your left or your right has a different weapon, you can't help him out. So, and that does happen from time to time in a sustained fight. Oh, that's one of the disadvantages of that, but I would recommend standardize it across the board. You need to have logistics. And I have always said this, that amateurs talk tactics, professionals talk logistics. How are you going to support and sustain your group? Oh, if you have a big group, obviously the logistical burden is a lot higher with a big group than it is a smaller group. You know, you got to have a group a size that meets your defensive needs. Have that ability to link up to those folks on your left and your right to make your group bigger, if you know what I mean. But you all got to train the same. You got to be able to communicate, and you got to know what each other's doing. So that's my 2 cents this morning on militias. Get out there and network and communicate, but you know, the rallying and the counter-protest stuff, I'm telling you, it's a waste of time. Your time would be better spent procuring provisions and training. It's my 2 cents. You don't think Ralphie's going to listen, do you? No. Not unless you're Bloomberg or Mark Herring. What a bunch of ass clowns. Anyway. Keep it tight, keep your powder dry. God bless all of you. Sic Semper Tyrannis.